Right, you're most welcome. I'm John Bosco Orien, a student of Uganda Christian University, Bachelor of Science in Human Nutrition and Clinical Dietetics at Malme, Uganda campus. Right, I'm going to take you through report writing. Report writing, uh, when you're writing a report is a concise document based on research that typically analyze a situation and sometimes make recommendations. Or a report can be a document which is written for a particular purpose and audience, often making recommendations for what? Future action. In report writing, a researcher or a learner should be in position to consider the following. One, you must know the purpose, identify the audience, the class, the categories. When you talk of audience, I'm meaning the group of persons you are going to be communicating to, group of people you are writing the reports to. Another thing a researcher must consider is decide which information you will include in your reports. Is the information going to be impactful in the life of the community? Is it going to be full of negativity to the community? Again, when you're writing up a report, you need to structure your report. There should be flow of your report. There should be flow of your report and endeavor to make it concise and professional. Language must be used. You should avoid using jargons when you're writing reports. We have witnessed in so many writings, in so many communications by colleagues who are at higher college of higher learning, they like using jargons. Another thing is edit your report. After carrying out your findings very well, after writing your report very well, remember and endeavor to edit your report. Before writing up a report, one must consider the following layouts for a report to be very competent and to make it more full. One, you should know the title. You should have a title. A good report should have a title. Two, the executive summary. Executive summary, this consists of what you're going to talk of, how will your report look, what methodology, the methods you will use in finding out on your research. Then another thing, which is the third point, is the introduction. The introduction hereby should be, why are you writing the report? You should tell us the background of the report, the methods you have used in gathering the information, and also another thing is the main body of the report, the area you would wish to focus in, the area you would wish to consider to be your main subheading. If the area is health, for example, under which category? Is it on how to control malaria or is it on nutrition? Here, you need to give us detailed information. Then, second last point, when you're writing up a good report, the conclusion. You must conclude. You should tell us that this is what I get from the field, and here are my conclusions. I conclude that the findings that you're seeing in the report, the finding you're reading in the report was my work, and this is what I have extracted from the field. The last point is recommendations. A student or a learner, it's required to recommend. Recommend the work you have got from the field, recommend the findings for. When writing up a good report, the following are the types of reports we consider. One, formal or informal reports. When we talk of formal reports, they are carefully structured. They stare objectively and in organizations. This type of reports contain much details and are always written in styles that tend to eliminate elements just as personal pronouns, whereas informal reports are usually short messages with natural casual use of language. Informal reports always have the internal memorandum that can generally be described as informal reports. Another type of reports when carrying out or writing up reports we need to consider is the short or long-term report. This is a confusing classification. A one-page memorandum is obviously short and a 20-page report is clearly long, but whereas there is a dividing line. Bear in mind that as a report becomes longer, for what you determine as long, as it takes on more characteristic of formal reports. Another type of reports we need to consider when writing up a report is informational or analytical reports. Informational reports, this includes annual reports, monthly reports, just as the financial reports. Basically, these are being used by the financial institution in the country. Reports on personal absenteeism. This one we have witnessed normally in institution of higher learning where professors, doctors, they carry out registration or roll call to find out who did not attend maybe class and who is maybe out of class. They carry out objective information from one area of an organization to another. Analytical reports and real estate appraisals present attempts to solve To solve problems. Another kind of report we need to consider is a proposal report. The proposal is a variation of problem solving. A proposal is a document prepared to describe how an organization can meet the needs of another. Most governmental organizations or agencies advertise their needs by issuing requests for proposal. For example, we have seen so many articles in newspapers. Government could be calling for bidders to bid maybe for construction work, maybe supplies and all that. So the rep specifies a need and potential supplier prepare proposal reports telling how they can meet that need of a particular organization. Another kind of report we need to consider when writing up a report is vertical or lateral reports. This classification refers to the directions a report travels. Reports that move upward and downward the hierarchy are referred to as vertical reports. Just as reports, they contribute to the management control. Lateral reports, on the other hand, assist in coordination. A report traveling between units of the same organization to another, it's called lateral report. In several organizations, we have seen report being centered from regional offices to the head office, from head office to regional to regional offices. So this kind of reports are called vertical or lateral reports. Another kind of report we need to consider when writing up a good report is the internal or external report. Internal reports, they travel within organizations. For instance, within a school, information can leave the bursar's office to maybe head of department office. Whereas external reports, just as annual reports of companies, they are always prepared and distributed outside the organizations. For example, one university like Uganda Christian University is having the main branch in Kono, but is having sub-branches in Kampala and another branch here at Malmö, Entebbe. So a report can be sent from Malmö to the main campus in Kono and from Malmö to the sub-campus in Kampala. Periodic reports. These reports are issued on regular schedules or regular schedule dates. They are generally upward directed, sub-management control, and pre-printed forms and computer-generated that contribute to uniformity of periodic reports. These reports are always used by corporate bodies like MTN. We have always witnessed it. They keeping their customers updated on how transaction has always been, more so on the mobile money kind of transaction. We have seen corporate bodies like Airtel Uganda, MTN Uganda, giving periodic monthly reports, updating customers on how their transactions and service is going on. Another kind of report we need to put into consideration when writing a good report is the functional reports. This classification includes accounting reports, marketing reports, financial reports, and a variety of other reports that takes their destination from the ultimate use of reports. Almost all reports could be included in most of these categories, and a single report could be included in several classes. For example, a functional report, the best example I could use, it's a report may be written by a corporate bodies or financial institutions like a Bank of Uganda. They write report to all different banks across the country, informing them maybe on change, on taxation, maybe on withdrawal, or maybe on saving. For a good report to come out well, learners and researchers should know that reports are also classified on the basic of their format. Reports writing has different formats. As you all know, we have been talking of upward and maybe downward kind of writing, somewhere higher on. So a learner must know that reports can be classified on the basis of their format. For example, this is one of the example of the report we have. This one is a periodic or project report. As you can see, this is one of the good reports written by University of Arkansas. You can observe, I think it has all the detailed information we've been talking of. We were talking of a good report should have a title, the audience, the purpose, why it's being written, the format, the cause for which that report is written, and the process you are going to carry out. What process are you going to carry out in your findings? So thank you. Thank you so much.